Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Rush Roundtable. It is not numbered at this point because we don't know when we're going to post this. But this is another episode of Great Take, Let's Debate. Our followers or subscribers on YouTube seem to love this topic. And Paul also loves this topic. Today is Paul's birthday. It is also Getty Lee's birthday. Happy birthday, Paul. Happy birthday to Getty Lee. Yes, we are recording this July 29th.
How awesome you get to share a birthday with Getty.
Yes, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, yes.
Paul pinged me this afternoon. He said, "Hey, let's do another episode of Great Take, Let's Debate." So here I gathered this awesome panel of gentlemen and called Ryder and said, "Hey, I need 10 takes." So I'm going to turn it over to Ryder. Ryder's going to be the host for this evening, and we're going to have a fun time. So it's all yours.
Yes. Hey guys. I have a bunch of Rush hot takes. And I figured, since it's Paul's birthday, I'd be a little nice. I'll throw in an 11th take in there. Let's make it extra spicy. So you know what? Let's just get into it.
Yes.
So take number 1. Vital signs sounds nothing like a preview of Signals or something that should have been on Signals. Let's start off with Ryan.
Great take. I think it sounds like Grace Under Pressure. More than simple. Great take.
Sure. Okay. Paul.
Great take.
David.
Great take.
Mario.
I happen to think that's a great take also.
Omar.
Great take.
Jim.
Great take.
We are going to
fly so
through
right
this.
out of the gate, it appears I have the correct opinion on literally everything.
Yeah.
Great job. Thank you very much.
Nice you coming early.
Hey guys, it was a great episode.
That was the coldest take you could have possibly started with. Yeah.
I don't know. I've had a lot of people back and forth me on that one, but
I've
see
heard
what else we have.
I've heard
Ryan was wrong
totally
about it being Grace Under Pressure, but
That was something I was
sounds,
not expecting to hear.
I think it sounds darker. Like I just think it sounds more.
I can get that.
Under
Also, a little bit more of the
Pressure.
reggae feel to it.
Yeah.
All right. This next one is sure that everyone will agree with. Limelight is not the best guitar solo on Moving Pictures.
Is not
not the best. So
Not.
Limelight's guitar solo is not the best on Moving Pictures.
Yeah. Okay.
Ryan.
No, let's debate. I think it is. I mean, I think Limelight's the best.
But like over top of the camera eye.
Yeah, I think it's better than the camera eye. I think it's not. I don't think Limelight is like a lot of people put that as like one of License's best, and it is up there. But I do think it is better than Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, YYZ, the camera eye. Yeah, I would say let's debate, and I think Limelight is the best on Moving Pictures.
Okay, well,
certainly the most iconic, but I think it's definitely I do think it's the best.
All right, well, I'm better at guitar than you are. Paul, what about you?
That's
You
a
are.
great take.
That is a great take.
That's not right. Great take. I prefer Camera Eye over Limelight. They're both great solos, but Camera Eye's above.
Yeah. And I'm not
Limelight
saying
for me.
Limelight's a bad solo. I'm just saying that it's not the best on Moving Pictures. David.
well, yeah, let's debate. I mean, Red Barchetta was phenomenal. YYZ, Camera Eye. I mean, there's so many great solos on this album, but Alex himself said that was his favorite solo to play live.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, very interesting.
Yeah,
point.
I mean, they're all phenomenal, but that's my personal favorite. Therefore, it's the best.
Yeah, I would follow up on that and say that I do think the Limelight solo sounds a lot better live. I think he just across the various versions, he incorporates some different things into it. But anyways, Mario.
I think it's a great take, what you said.
Awesome. Omar?
Wish I could elaborate, but it's a great take.
Jim.
Oh, how fitting with the Moving Pictures background there.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, it
He's
is.
obligated
It
to
is
say it.
it is really a great take. I think Red Barchetta and Camera Eye are way up there.
All right, excellent. All right, my next one. Fly By Night is a top 10 Rush album. Ryan.
Oh my god.
Let's debate. And
Ooh,
for
do it.
and for well, I'll go watch on the Contrarians. Martin Popoff and I did an episode on the worst Rush album. Worst, I hate using the W word, but I had Fly By Night listed as second to last. People wanted to crucify me for it, but
Yeah.
I just think that it's so early in the band's career. It's like half of that record is stuff from the debut era for the most part, written by Geddy and Alex. There's 10 better Rush albums than Fly By Night. So yeah, I think no, it's not.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, let's debate. I can't put Fly By Night in the top 10. I just like kind of like what Ryan said, there's so many great albums that go above. It's Neil's first album, but there's still influence from the first album kind of flowing in. So some great tunes on it, but it's like it's their first album together. They're kind of evolving. No, I mean, I would put anything from Pharaoh to Kings and above, probably, other than a few albums, above Fly By Night.
David.
I'm going to say great take.
All right. Fine. Another sharply dressed man, as I see.
Yeah. Ooh.
There we go. Mario.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to. Let's debate on this. I personally think it's very early in the career, and it's only significant because of the fact that it was Neil's first album with the band, and there's a lot more. When you think of Rush, okay, you do think of Fly By Night, but you don't think of that album as one of their most prominent pieces of work. There's plenty of other good ones to fall back on.
Mm-hmm. Omar.
So, just so I understand, can you repeat your take?
I have it as Fly By Night is a top 10 Rush album.
Okay. I'm not going to be as dressed as David or yourself. I'm going to say let's debate. From someone who thinks the much maligned Test for Echo is a top 10 record, I can't include Fly By Night in the top 10. I like Fly By Night. I think maybe one day I'll rank the records. I mean, I've been putting that off forever. I've been like wanting to do that, but I can't see myself. I can't see myself putting Fly By Night in the top 10.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give you a pass. Me, you, and Ryan, we all agree on the Test for Echo. So closing off, Jim.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Let's Debate as well. I also agree on the Test for Echo. It is a wonderful album, but while everybody was saying their bits, I looked at the albums and sort of quickly ranked them in my head. And while I love the album and I love a lot of the songs, I can't put it in the top 10.
All right. Okay. Number 4. This one's a little bit more of a thinker. Rush should have continued to make more epics. So I consider an epic like a song that's like 10 minutes or longer, the multi-part suites, whatever. Rush should have continued to make more epics throughout their career after Hemispheres, taking advantage of more modern technology. Ryan.
Let's debate. I think, and the only reason, not because I think they couldn't have pulled it off, it could have sounded awesome, but let's debate only because they've been on record saying that they were burnt out after Hemispheres and that Hemispheres was a complete bitch to make. So I can't imagine where if that would have caused more problems with the band or caused even further burnout. I mean, they did long songs. I mean, you've got Jacob's Ladder, Natural Science, The Camera Eye, and then coming around with like Headlong Flight. I mean, that's a really long song, and so is The Garden and Clockwork Angels. They did some long songs, and I think, I'm not someone who's going to sit here and say everything Rush did was perfect, but I think it was a good time to stop doing those long songs, and move into the 80s. And I think the way they did it was right.
Mm-hmm. All right, Paul.
We're going to run that take again, just to make sure.
Rush should have continued to make more epics throughout their career after Hemispheres taking advantage of modern technology.
Let's debate. I don't think they would have been as successful in the 80s doing these kind of epic. It was a 70s thing. Like the prog rock movement was, and they cemented themselves as, up there with Genesis and all these guys. And yes, and I can't imagine them doing that kind of stuff in the 80s and into the 90s, like these 20-minute epic songs. I don't think. Yeah, they had bought their freedom from the record label, but I don't think that's what they want. They were constantly wanting to evolve. They always wanted to change their music and evolve with the times, and you see it from Hemispheres into Permanent Waves and Moving Pictures. And Moving Pictures was such a huge success. They could have said, let's keep doing this. They went, no, we're going to go in our own direction. Let's do Signals and go into the synth era. I can't imagine they would have continued on the success they had if they had kept that kind of like that mind frame. They always needed to challenge themselves, right? So,
yeah, awesome. David, what do you think?
Yeah, let's debate, because the whole idea that Rush should do something because anybody thinks they should do it is totally anti-Rush, their entire ethos. Like Neil said, we did what we found interesting that year, or whatever. So yeah, I agree with Ryan. They could have pulled it off in probably a way that would have upset everybody, because it would have been great epic takes, but didn't sound like Hemispheres. It would have been entirely different. But yeah, they did what they wanted to do because that's what they wanted to do, and so
excellent.
I mean, right. I will just add, I'm all for like 15 minutes of Taishan, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that would have been great, right?
I agree
with you, Ryan. That would have been phenomenal.
Taishan should have been an epic. All right, Mario.
The entire side.
And any excuse to mention Taishan, okay.
Yeah, Mario, what do you think?
Okay. Let's debate, only because of the fact that when I think of an epic, I think like a 15-minute song, throughout the 80s and 90s, as they were getting more mainstream on the radio. If they were just going to just throw out epic after epic after epic, they're not going to be on the radio that much. They're not going to get a lot of play. People, me included, we have short attention spans. Like, we could tell by a song if it's good after the first minute. If it's just going to be 15 minutes of like this stretched out song, they could have just compressed into like 3 minutes. I'm not going to listen to it. I just think the modern day music listener has evolved, and if they would have just kept brushing out epics, I don't think they would have had as much listenership as they would have.
Very interesting perspective on that one. I hadn't thought about it that way. But I am an angry 19-year-old who listens to Yes and other King Crimson and all that other prog rock BS.
Once I'm not the baby.
Nice.
I'm usually the youngest one. You're the baby today.
Hey. All right, Omar, what do you think?
I mean, I would have never guessed that Mario has the shortest attention span. I just would have never guessed that. I'm going to say great take, but let me quantify it. If they did it for Clockwork Angels, that was their chance if they wanted to. I agree with not doing it forever after Hemispheres. I consider The Camera Eye the last epic. Right.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Camera Eye. That was the one I was looking for.
To me, is the last epic. However, if they wanted to during Clockwork Angels, because that is a concept album, maybe a 10 to 15-minute song might have been great there.
Yeah.
Because if it was their last album, go all out. I don't know if they knew that was going to be their last album or not, but yeah. So I say Ryder, great take.
Excellent. Yeah. Jim, what do you think?
I'm going to say let's debate. One thing that I've always loved about Rush is that they've always changed and kind of evolved through the times. And so they did that throughout their career. And I think the epics were a part of, their earlier career, and definitely part of the 70s prog rock era for sure. But they changed, and I don't necessarily think they changed because like the music industry started to change. I think they changed because they changed. Right, but you still get things like the Parts of Fear, which is kind of cool, right? So they did something different.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
So
yeah,
there you go.
They did what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
At the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I didn't mean that as, oh, they should have made more, they squandered opportunity. I'm like, hypothetical, you know.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Yeah,
why it was a
All
great
right.
take.
Exactly. Yeah. Omar's got it. Yeah, you just don't wanna,
I mean,
yeah.
in other
Omar's-
possible worlds like Clockwork Angels, right? They're different worlds. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Rush in a different world that would have continued the epics. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just pose a question for
On Earth
Ryder
too.
and Omar, like real quick? Like, if
Oh,
Yeah, what's up?
other than Clockwork Angels, I mean, do you like any of the '80s or '90s albums? Could you see a 10 or a 15-minute epic on them?
That's kind of where I'm at
And
with
which
it. I mean,
which
it's like,
album? Like which album could you
I'm
see
just
that
saying,
on?
like, wherever they could have done it throughout. Like, if they
Because
were
I'm just
to,
thinking like
I'm
maybe
not saying,
Power
and I'm not
Windows and the
saying
theme
like,
of Power or something, right? But
yeah, something
I was
like that, I
thinking
guess.
Test
But
for
even like,
Echo, maybe I could
but
see
I'm not
epic on
talking.
Test for Echo.
Oh yeah, we need 15
If
minutes
it's
of
a-
test
if
for
it's
Echo.
I agree.
if they were
Test
to
for
do
Echo.
it to answer Ryan's question for me, I think Counterparts would have been the record to do that. If
I
they
was just
were to
gonna
do it.
say,
Interesting. Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I was
Great
just
album.
curious.
Great album.
All right.
Such a
So
good
the
one.
next question, Cygnus X1 Book 1, the final song from A Farewell to Kings, is better than Cygnus X1 Book 2 Hemispheres, the first track from Hemispheres. So Book 1 is better than Book 2.
That is such a
Ryan.
simple question. Yet
I-
effective.
Yeah, this will be
Yeah,
easy.
Mario, great take. Yeah, that's a very simple question. No, Book 2 is better than Book 1. Book 2 is better than 2112. Book 2 is better than. Yeah, I said it. 2112. You're looking at me like I have three heads.
Yep.
Wait, are you saying? No, I'm saying Book 1 is better than Book 2.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
saying Book 2 is better than everything.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So yeah, let's debate. Yeah, Book 2 is better than Book 1. Book 2 is. I'm just using 2112 as a another.
Oh, okay. All right.
Proving
Okay,
my
my bad.
point. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
better than 2112. Book 2 is the best epic.
Yeah. I would have to disagree with it because half of it is the same stuff and
No,
some of it
not
is
half
even
of it.
reused material from the first part.
Not half
Paul.
of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, but I mean, come
He's
on.
right, Jim. He's right.
I will
Not
say great.
half.
I will say great take because Book 1 is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Damn here.
Is
Mhm.
Book 2 is great, but Book 1 is just that's one of those that just every time I hear it, I get chills. I get like just especially that last 2 minutes. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
Darn Canadians.
That 2 minutes. Those 2 minutes.
Hey, who said
alone
that?
outclass.
Hey,
who said
Hey!
that?
hey, Hoser.
Hey, $10 is $10, right? So relax. All right.
There you go. All right.
I'll have to wear a toque next time. Jesus.
There you go. Right.
Anyway, moving on.
David.
Yeah, okay, let's debate. I mean, Book 1, yeah. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, those last couple minutes and then just the strumming at the end, but you get more of the story in Book 2 and it just unfolds things that you wouldn't have thought of in Book 1 and the musicianship just in the opening of that. And yeah, so they're both incredible, but yeah, Book 2 better.
All right, Mario.
It is a very simple take, yet thought-provoking, as I said before, but we have to debate on this. Like, come on, I personally love Book 2 more because I think, I feel like it's more recognizable. I feel like it sent them more into stardom than Book 1. Like Book 2 was very, I thought the theming was better in Book 2, in my opinion. And I just feel like it was more effective and it was more, I guess, historical in a way or prominent. So yeah.
Mhm. All right.
All the
Omar.
Greek mythology too.
Yeah. Mhm.
Was
Pretty cool.
terrific.
I'm gonna reluctantly say let's debate.
Reluctantly. Ooh.
Yes, because I really like Book 1 a lot. I like Book 2 for different reasons. The reason I like Book 2 better is because Book 1 is pretty disjointed. It's not, there's a bunch of different musical themes going on all over the place. it's not really as musically tied together as Hemispheres is. The way you have a theme of the music throughout the whole song, and the themes come, they come in and they come out. It's like more very well tied together. And then the climax at the end, it just resolves the whole story. And then you have the little guitar interlude at the end, or whatever it's called. It kind of like ties it up in a nice little bow. It's kind of like a great story. Whereas it's pretty. It's a beautiful song. Where Cygnus X1 is a chaotic setup. It's kind of disjointed in a good way, not in a bad way, because I love the song. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to say Let's Debate. Book 2 is better.
All right, Jim.
All right, I'm going to say Let's Debate, and I only have two things to say. Everything David said, I agree with. And the Lifeson chord. There we go.
Oh, the infamous
Well
Lifeson
said.
chord.
Yes.
I knew someone was going to say
And-
that.
With the open
And
notes.
go watch Jim's
Bravo.
analysis of it on the deep dive of Hemispheres from this past month. So there you go.
I don't know. In my opinion, the da 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 beats out the Lifeson chord any other day.
You don't get to participate in that part, man.
You ever see the video of Katy Perry's band playing Cygnus X1?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to check
That's
that one
right.
out
Yeah,
after.
that's
Right?
right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I vaguely remember that. Yes.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yes.
You got
I'll
to drop
check
the
it
link
out.
in the video description for that.
I've seen it,
All right,
but
we'll
I'm
find
not
it.
convinced that makes it better. So
Doesn't make it better.
That's
but
definitely not
they-
why it's better.
They did
All
it.
right.
Yep. All right.
The next one. The songs on Vapor Trails, Snakes and Arrows, and Clockwork Angels sounded much better live than they did on the recording. Ryan.
I'm gonna say Let's Debate, because I'm assuming you're talking on average. The Snakes and Arrows ones, I could argue they sounded better, but Getty's voice got too bad for the. I don't want to say too bad. I mean, it was still fine, but Getty's voice sounds way better on Clockwork Angels, the studio album, than he did live. I thought. I mean, the Vapor Trail songs, I don't know. It depends if you're talking remix version or not, but I mean, I felt like, the Vapor Trail songs done in Rio, they were kind of heavy and ballsy, like the album did it. So, I mean, I guess on average, I would say no, but it's close.
All right, Paul.
Say that question again, because now you got me thinking here.
The songs on Vapor Trails, Snakes and Arrows, and Clockwork Angels sounded better live than they did on the recordings.
Sound as in sound quality, or just overall, like
Sound quality, energy. Well, maybe not quality because of like recording quality. I'm saying like energy wise, performance, all that.
Vocals, maybe.
Vocals, sure. Yeah, I guess that falls under performance as well.
Well, you can't count vocals on the lives because Getty's voice is, he's in his 69 now. Oh wow. You said they sound better live?
Yes.
Oh, great take.
All right, David.
I'm going to say Let's Debate, only because, what do you mean live when you're actually there and the experience of a live performance or watching a live?
I'd say for the sake of people not like being able to be at the same Rush shows that you were, I'm just going to say live albums.
Yeah, it's all awesome, but the consistency and of the studios, I don't think apples and oranges. So I don't think you can compare those. So Debate.
All right, Mario.
I think it's a great take.
All right, Omar.
Man, that's a good question. I'm gonna say Let's Debate.
All right.
As a whole, on average, I'll using Ryan's term, I think the studio versions sound better than the live versions overall, with exceptions. This song is not talked about hardly ever, but Carney's from Clockwork Angels sounds, it is fantastic live, especially with all the fireworks that they did. I mean, that song is one of the best live performances. I mean, it's a great song live.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Carney's. Watch that. And there's some other ones too, but for the most part, taking into consideration the whole presentation, Geddy's voice, the ability of the band to, lock it in like they do in the studio, like they can in the studio, because it's easier. They're doing one song versus a whole show. I'm going to say that the studio versions in that era are better than the live versions, although, any Rush live is great Rush. So,
all right, Jim.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a Let's Debate as well. I mean, the energy on the live versions is just amazing. Like, Omar mentioned Carney's. I mean, that's a fantastic example. I mean, the energy on that song was just phenomenal, right? But the overall package, I would say for those 3 albums, I would go with the studio recordings.
All right. The next one. This is a little blasphemous as a bass player myself.
This should be good.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Hold on. Let me brace.
All
Hold on. Let me
set.
brace myself here. All right, go.
Yeah, all
Okay.
set.
All right. Geddy Lee's bass tone didn't shine or have a signature aspect to it until he started using the Fender Jazz bass. So for history's sake, Geddy used the jazz bass a little bit on Permanent Waves, Moving Pictures, and then didn't use it. He used the Steinberger and the Wall, and then he full-time switched to the jazz bass counterparts onwards. So the question once again is, Geddy Lee's bass tone didn't have like a signature thing to it, like a big shine to it, until he started using the jazz. Ryan.
and I see people wanting to break the screen.
Yeah.
My God.
And that's coming from, and I'm not a Rickenbacker hater. One of my favorite bass players is Chris Squire. My dream bass is a Rickenbacker. But I'm just saying he didn't really come into his own bass tone wise until he switched over to the jazz full time. So Ryan.
That's a tough one.
Someone just whispered "wow" under their breath.
That would be me. That's.
I mean, I'm not much of a musician. Like Ryder insulted me earlier. I mean, yes, like we probably have to agree. I don't think it's a great take. I think it's a solid take. I think it's a good take because like I feel like. I guess it's less debate. If it's not a great take, it's less debate, right? So yeah, let's debate. Although I think you're kind of right. I mean, for me, like I notice I'm able to hear Geddy more. Like I try to listen to the bass because I'm very terrible. I can't really listen to bass as much as other people can. So like, I guess Geddy stands out to me more in counterparts onwards. So I mean, I that's why I guess it's like an okay take.
All right. Paul, what about you?
Let's debate. I'm kind of like Ryan, where when I first got into Rush, I was more into the drumming. I was all about the drums. Didn't listen to enough to Alex or Geddy, but now in later years, I'm really paying attention. And Geddy's had this sound since the 70s, since he has the Rickenbacker. Like, yes, the jazz Fender is one of his sounds, but I mean, you can't ignore the Rickenbacker. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like the tone he had on those 70s albums was just, that growl was just intense.
Yeah.
Like, yes, his jazz, I find the 80s tone is different. Like when he uses Steinberger and the Wall, it was just kind of like, what? But it was still there. It was a cool sound, but it's different.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, it's a hard one. That's why I said
I'll
wow
admit,
under my breath.
Yeah,
it's hard. That's a tough one.
And I'll admit, for non-bass players, it's a very hard question to talk about because a lot of Geddy's tone comes from his fingers and how hard he plucks the strings, and how he goes through them. A lot of that comes. He has
a different way of picking the strings. It's
Yeah,
not your
exactly.
traditional way of picking it. Like when you look at him play, you're like, what's he doing? Right.
Yeah.
But
It
looks like he's pulling out instead of pulling up. Like he's really getting.
Yeah, he's like he's
Excuse me?
snapping it almost. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, David.
Definitely, let's debate. As far as the Fender Jazz, Getty was, to my mind, learning or developing new techniques, things that he hadn't done before. But as a kid that grew up on the Rickenbacker stuff, coming home from school, put on the headphones and listening to that, his bass always stood out in ways to me that all the other bands I listened to, other than Yes, King Crimson, all the other prog bands, just didn't do. And he could pull things out of that Rickenbacker that just were incredible. So say that the Fender Jazz was a new tone coming into new styles, whatever, absolutely. But the Rickenbacker did great things with that. So
yeah. All right, Mario.
This is hard for me because I'm not really I know nothing about playing the bass and like how basses and like all different styles and functions in them work. So this is I wish there was a pass option in this game, but I really
we could add that.
The pass is saying great take, and I have the right opinion. So
fine, the great take.
Doesn't the pass have a great bass tone to it though?
Oh, excellent bass tone, but that was the wall. That was the wall.
All right.
Bass.
Great take, pass.
Okay. All right. Omar.
I can't think of anything for that.
But by the way, the Presto album has pretty good bass tone, actually.
I agree.
Considering.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, let's debate. I mean, I partly agree with you as far as the Fender Jazz and his signature sound. I guess that he fell into basically, counterparts to the end or whatever. But I think that Rickenbacker's sound of the 70s is also another one of his signature sounds. And as much as I thought I knew what that signature sound was all this time, when the Moving Pictures 40th anniversary came out, and this new concert came out, when I heard Working Man, when it's the reggae part, and then Geddy Lee comes in with that thick, fat Rickenbacker. I've never heard it that growly. That you got to go back and listen to that Working Man. Oh my goodness, I've never heard it like that. It's like, wow, that is Geddy Lee. That is his Rickenbacker sound right there, more than any of his other Rickenbacker recordings. I mean, you got to go back and listen to it. It's like when it came in, when I heard it the first time, holy smokes, what a great bass sound. That was awesome. So I would say, and because Geddy loves his Fender Jazz so much, and he used it on his tribute to when he played with Yes, he chose not to play the Rickenbacker. He chose and he said because I couldn't get the bass sound I wanted. It's like, what, really? So but anyway, I'm gonna let's debate, but it's because that Rickenbacker sound, and he resurrected it for me when I heard it on the latest concert release, though, live in YYZ.
Yeah. All right, Jim.
All right, I'm going to say let's debate. Any good musician can take an instrument and make it sound like themselves. And if they're a fantastic musician, they can take any instrument and make it sound amazing. And I think that Geddy has done both of those. I always call his bass sound a biting bass tone. That's how I conceive of it, right?
I would
how
say that too, yeah.
Yeah. And I think he definitely had that with the Jazz, and he definitely had that with the Rick. So that's my view.
All right, excellent. I'm just taking out my frustrations on Ricks. They're like $2,000. I can't afford one. So
I know, that's insane how expensive those guys are.
Supposedly, I mean, a lot of people like the sound
great.
of the Rick, but I've also heard a lot of people find them hard to play. They're like
they're heavy.
They're not very comfortable to play.
And they're very
heavy. Really? Oh,
yeah,
they're weird.
I've heard that quite a bit.
Yeah. All right, let's stop
They
ranting
just
about
sound so good.
Rickenbackers. Let's get to the next one.
Bricks are awesome.
Um,
There we go.
There you go.
The next one, Heartful of Soul, on R30 Live is leagues tremendously better than the version that is on Feedback. I consider the Feedback version unlistenable when compared to the R30 Live version. The like half acoustic and then Neil comes in. I think that is incredible. Ryan.
Great take.
Paul.
I would have to concur. Great take.
David.
Great take.
Mario.
Great take.
Omar.
Let's debate.
Oh,
All right. Okay.
Heartful of Soul is my
almost
favorite
easy.
song on Feedback. So I
Mhm.
like it already there. I just love their version of the songs. It's fantastic. I do like the live version too. I don't dislike it. I think I like the studio version a little better. Not because I don't like, it's one of those, I don't dislike this one. I just like the other one more. So let's debate.
Mhm.
I really like the studio version.
All right. And Jim.
Great take.
All right. There we go. 5 out of 6 ain't half bad.
Dang
Omar.
That's
All right. Next up, Ben Mink should have made more appearances on Rush albums. So, Geddy Lee gets him in 2000 to start working on My Favorite Headache. Would you like to have seen Ben Mink appear more?
Yeah, but you can't ask as a question. You have to have a take.
All right, guys. Okay, so Ben Mink should have been on more Rush albums. Ryan.
Let's debate. No, I think losing it was sufficient. I mean, Rush is a 3-piece band, losing it was cool. It was cool to see him do that live. And, My Favorite Headache, right over there this way, had Ben Mink. I mean, Ben Mink's a fantastic musician, but no, I mean, Rush is Rush as Alex, Geddy, and Neil, not Alex, Geddy, Neil, and Ben. So, I would say no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just for the record, I'm not proposing this as Ben Mink joins Rush as a 4th member. I'm saying like 1 or 2 more songs, maybe something like that.
Maybe like 1 per album.
No, I wouldn't say like 1 per album. I'm saying because then that would be him joining. I'm just saying like 1 or 2 more Ben Mink songs would have been cool. Paul.
Well, then all right, fine. Fine, I guess. Great take. Only because he probably could have appeared on Clockwork Angels or something,
yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Okay, fine,
right,
then
Paul.
great take.
Okay, I'm confused. Run the question again or the take again.
Okay. All right.
All
the
right,
version we have decided on now.
Ryder said these are all going to be thought-provoking.
Exactly, yeah. The question we've landed on now is Ben Mink should have been on 1 or 2 more Rush songs.
Let's debate. I think when they did Losing It, they had a specific sound or a specific like tone they wanted, right? And they said, let's bring this guy in and let's do this part. But I don't think outside of Clockwork Angels, maybe because they brought the string section in the live versions. No, I don't think so. I think Losing It was just a specific instance where they said this would be really complimentary to have this electronic violin part to really come.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Ryder didn't say he had to be on violin either. So in his take.
Well, that's what he is. He's a professional violinist.
I didn't know he
That's
played
what he
anything.
does.
No,
Move on, for the love of God, move on.
All right, David.
Yeah, I'm going to say let's debate. I mean, Losing It was such a special song, and Ben Mink's part on that was special, and not having that for all those years after Signals made the Clockwork Angel String Ensemble all the more awesome and unique.
All right.
So yeah.
All right, Mario.
I think it's a great take.
Omar.
I was trying to figure out how to answer the question. I'm glad I'm 5th. I'm gonna say let's debate because of the way the question is posed. You said, should he have been included in one or two more songs? So I say no. Could he have been? Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna concur that he was a very specialized. He was a specialized, had a special use, a special one-time use, and I think it was inimitable. So anything he did after that was not going to be nearly as good as Losing It. It just wouldn't, because Losing It was like lightning striking, I think. I mean, that solo, I mean, I didn't even know it was a violin when I heard it the first time. I didn't know. I thought it was someone with crazy keyboard skills.
That's a good point. I think anything else he would have done would have been judged by his performance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that should have, based
Yeah,
on
but
your
that's how
question.
everything is, though.
Well, no, I mean, Russia's always they always tried, they did what they wanted and hoped people liked it, basically. And I think in his specialized case for Ben, I think he would be good for appearances for Losing It. That's what I think.
See, but can I just add to that though? Like, so that's how everything post Moving Pictures is judged compared to Moving Pictures, right? I mean, at least for the '80s. I mean, because counterparts or vapor shows are vastly different, but everything's compared to Moving Pictures. I mean, what if they just included Ben Mink on BU2B2 to enhance that and actually make it I mean, he said one or two tracks, you know what I mean? So I don't. If he did that, I mean, granted, we would have never known what it is now, like what BU2B2 is now, which is just a completely forgettable track that's just there for the concept part of it. I mean, that could have been another spot for Ben Mink to shine if he would have come back you know what I mean? So
yeah, I remember
years later. Okay, yeah.
I remember the other thing I was going to say about that is, do I miss Ben Mink after Signals? My answer is no, I don't miss him after that. But I'm glad he was there.
Oh, sure.
But I'm definitely glad he was there. We would have missed out on something. But I don't miss him anytime afterwards. He could have been on, like we say, Clockwork Angels. I mean, could he have been? Yeah, but should he have been? No, not necessarily. To me.
All right.
That's my take.
Yeah. Okay. Jim.
I'm going to say let's debate. Ben Mink is a fantastic musician, and his contribution on My Favorite Headache, I think, is just completely amazing. And his contribution in Losing It is just phenomenal. But I think of Rush as a three-piece band, and they wanted to add something to enhance something, and they did. And there you go. They moved on.
All right. My 10th take, 2112 as an album does not work. The album drags incredibly heavy in the middle and does not fit tonally with the rest of what came before it, and then how the album would then close. Ryan. And I'm not saying those songs are bad. I'm saying as an album, it just doesn't work.
Can you repeat the fucking question?
Oh boy.
Okay.
It's 10 o'clock
That's
at
a
night.
lot to take.
There was a lot in that question.
That's a doozy.
Yeah.
What are the
that's
ingredients
okay.
of the beef?
It's 10 o'clock at night. You got to make this much simpler for me, please.
2112 does not
span,
work as an
remember?
album. 2112 does not work as an album. It drags incredibly heavily in the middle and does not fit tonally with what comes, the big epic before it, and then how it would end with Something for Nothing. It's still a good album, but it doesn't work like as a cohesive experience.
Because of the side 1 versus side 2 thing?
Not really
Like
with side 1 versus side, because like 2112 and Passage to Bangkok are like, that's kind of like a very similar territory. But then you get into like Lessons and Tears, and it's a little out there. And then Something for Nothing kind of like revisits the kind of musical theming and how it conducts itself compared to the rest of it. I guess basically what I'm saying is Lessons and Tears do not fit on 2112.
my
Give,
gosh.
give Ryan a two
Oh,
extra.
okay.
Just press
Done.
There you go.
This is
Side
too
one.
I have a short
complicated if you have to
attention
explain
span.
it for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Sounds like
So
a musician.
So you're
question.
basically saying Lessons and Tears don't belong on this album compared to the rest of the tunes.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, then say that then.
He's a
No,
musician.
but then that just sounds like me saying Tears and Lessons suck. Which they aren't bad songs, they just don't fit in with the rest of the album.
All right, guys, let's
Ryan.
answer it. Let's answer it. Enough debate. Answer it.
Great. Still don't understand. It's a great take. Sure. You're a musician. If you like it, sure.
All right, Paul.
I mean, let's debate. I mean, at this point, like Getty and Alex were still contributing lyrics, and they were still kind of, working their way through Fly By Night, and Curse of Steel, and like, yeah, they were still doing their own thing. I mean, this was their break. This was their last shot. Like the studios had said, like, after Curse of Steel, like, this is it. Like, figure it out. And I get, like, I know what you're saying. Like, it doesn't seem like the songs feel like the rest. Like Tears is like completely different, with the Meaty Moog feel, and with Hugh Syme and Lessons is like one of Alex's like lyrics. But I don't know. It's part of the album. It's just the way this is what they did. And it's kind of like, well, here it is. If you don't like it, well, then move on. You know what I mean? But yeah, the sound's different, completely different. But to say that it's like it doesn't belong there, I don't think that's right.
It's there for a reason.
All right.
This is what
David.
they had done and written at the time. 1976.
Yes.
Right?
So you're saying let's debate.
A lot of drugs involved. Who knows? I don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
But anyway.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
David.
It's
So
hard
yeah,
to-
definitely let's debate. Yes, it was 1976. Great year for music, actually, 1976. But so yeah, you have the first side, really heavy, dark, great. And let me go back for a second. You said 2112 doesn't work. Well, it kind of worked for them. That bought them their freedom, as they say. But then after side one, side two is kind of like, kind of cool. You have this epic 7-part suite, very dark, very heavy. And then, okay, let's hear, what's going on side two. That's fun. One of my favorite Alex solos is actually Lessons. Just some great rock guitar, playing that song out. And so yeah, side two was kind of like, what do you do after side one? Now these 5 songs, and that's great. So yeah, I think it works marvelously.
All right, Mario.
I already used my pass option for this, so I'm just going to say let's debate just to say something. Given my short attention span, these Lessons and Tears are songs I tend to skip on 2112. And clearly there's a reason why they're on there, whether it's just, show sympathy or just, it had to be on there just because maybe they were high one day or something. They're on there for a reason. While I may not know the reason.
Because they wrote them?
Because they wrote them. Probably it.
Because they really like them.
I'm just saying.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They threw it on there because they were already baked enough from 2112. So I think nobody would care.
They weren't.
All
I don't think they were fillers. Let's be honest here. I mean,
No, I don't think they were.
Yeah.
Later.
Mhm.
I don't skip
All
them.
right. Mhm.
Then
All
again,
right,
I'm short attention span.
yeah. Okay, Omar.
Ryder, I'm gonna do you a solid. Great take.
Hey, there we go.
Oh,
All right. You made up for the last one. I was really losing here. Jim.
I'm gonna say let's debate. It's a great album, and yeah, you get the epic on one side and the collections of song on the other side. But one thing that I've always thought about Rush's albums is that the songs sound like they belong on the same album. It's the same kind of tonality sound, different styles, right? Like something like Lessons is a much different style than even Something for Nothing, which comes right after that one, right? Right, different styles, but the same kind of tonality sound. So that's my take.
Yeah,
All right.
that's a tribute to the mastering of that, so to make sure everything sounded the same. Because
Yeah.
2112 is a completely unique sounding record from anything they ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me,
100%.
I mean, can I just elaborate on my great take real quick? I think it doesn't work as an album because it's so top heavy. Like,
Mhm. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. Yeah, it doesn't really
side
carry.
one
It
is-
doesn't.
but it
carry-
has nothing to do with Lessons and Tears. It's just top heavy because you got a 20-minute song and then you have a collection of five. Like, you could have just put 2112 out on its own, and then you could have just put
an EP.
Side B out as its own album. Like, I mean, you could have like it just for me it doesn't work because it's so top heavy. Like, it's just very, very top heavy record.
Yeah.
I agree.
All
That would have
right.
been a
So
good topic. You could have said what Ryan said. 2112, the song should have been its just own album, or should have just been an EP. The other three, that would have been a good one.
yeah. All right. Well, this is my final one. If Geddy and Alex were to reunite for a tour, or just to start a new band, and then they would tour it, they should not play any Rush songs. This is a whole new chapter for them. And Rush was a special thing between, Geddy, Alex, and Neil. So if they go out and they do a new thing, they shouldn't play any Rush music. Ryan.
Let's
This
debate.
is the thinker.
Let's debate. I would love to hear them play The Garden together in honor of Neil, in Neil's memory. So there you go. Other than that, I think keep the Rush to those three guys. But I think it would be cool for them to do like some sort of tribute to Neil if they're going to do that. And The Garden would be a cool way to do that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Paul.
Gosh, this is the eternal debate. You know what I mean? Like, I have to debate. Like, I can't see those two of them going out on tour and not playing Rush songs. Like, what would they do? They'd have to come up with new material, but people would go to the shows expecting Rush songs. But what do you do then? You're doing a whole acoustic set? Would you bring in as a drummer? This is a constant debate on like a whole bunch of like Facebook fan sites, and it's a constant. People fight over it all the time, and I'm just like, like I'd love to see them again live. Do not get me wrong, but I think Rush is done. Like, I hate to say it, but with Neil gone, I can't imagine it happening again. Like, I can't imagine Alex and Geddy wanting to be on stage without him. As much as they have creative musical needs and desires, it would be really hard to go out together and not be seen as, an alternative to. I can't see it. I blasphemy.
I'm lost. Is that a great take, or are you debating?
So that's a great take then. Yeah, I was going to say that's a great take.
Yeah, it's great. I'm sorry. Great take. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
it's the last one. Let's move on.
There's a lot to this. I thought about this
there
one in a
is.
Burger King parking lot earlier today.
Wait, what?
I thought about this one in a Burger King parking lot really hard earlier today.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one.
Yeah. David, what do you think?
Well, I kind of want to agree with Ryan on The Garden, but I'm not going to. I think if they got back together, they were friends long before they knew Neil or met Neil. And if they did something, it would have to be them. So I know we're not supposed to. And when it's great take, you just say great take. But I had to say that great take. They shouldn't do Rush songs.
All right, Mario.
If they want to.
I'm going to say let's debate. And basically what Ryan said, at least do one song. And The Garden would be a good one, to be really honest. Like, they're not going to. And then going back to what Ryder said, they're not going to play any Rush songs when they do that Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. They're just there just to do whatever. I think it's like both sides of the coin here, and I'm saying let's debate because they should play at least just one.
All right, Omar.
Your take is that they should not play any Rush songs?
Should not play any Rush songs if they
Okay.
got together for another tour.
Okay, I say let's debate. Definitely not the Garden. It's too sad. I don't it should be like a happy type thing. That's to me. So I've thought about this. So yeah, they can do they have quite a bit of their own material. Maybe they can play songs that they like with other musicians, a drummer, obviously, whoever. Yeah, a couple of songs that people, like maybe The Spirit of Radio is a happy song, I would say let's debate a couple of songs. Yeah, that's my take.
Yeah. All right.
I did a whole
Jim.
video on that too, by the way.
Ooh, okay. Yo, check out
kind of
Omar's
not
video.
exactly. It's more of a drummer perspective, but yeah, I mean, not like I'm not talking about touring. Like it could be just one, like a, one night thing where they maybe something like
All right, Jim.
I'm gonna say let's debate. If they get together and tour or play a show, I would like to hear a couple of acoustic versions of Rush tunes. Just a couple.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Very
I would
That's
good.
kind of
say
what I
if
was
they-
thinking with the Garden. Like they would do it acoustically. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I was envisioning.
If they were to do anything, I would say do it acoustically because I feel like it'd just be so strange if they did a full arrangement of a Rush song with a drummer that wasn't Neil.
Yeah,
I just
agree.
think that would be
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
I agree.
You know what?
And-
You know what they did with Ronnie James Dio, where they put a hologram of Ronnie James Dio out on the.
Yeah.
Would
That's-
anybody?
but
Bad idea.
Would anybody go see that if they did that with Neil? I mean,
No.
the only thing that could
Getty and
replace him
Alex-
is a
Good idea.
robot or a hologram or whatever.
I'll go see
An
anything they
animatronic
do.
at
but
Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'll go see anything they decide to do. But
I can't imagine
I
Neil.
can't imagine that.
I can't imagine Alex and Getty signing off on that, saying we'll have a hologram
Oh, I
of
can't
Neil
either.
behind us.
I can't either. I know that will never happen, but I'm just saying is that
In the
something you would actually
hypothetical.
go to? Yeah, because I've seen that idea thrown around on the internet too. I'm not
Yeah.
saying they should do that by any means, please, but
and they,
it almost would be an insult, in my opinion. I mean, I think I
Would,
saw
yeah.
the Dio
think-
holograms.
I think it was to Ronnie.
Yeah,
I think if they promoted
yeah.
anything at all, the
Yeah.
word Rush would not be mentioned by them.
the only thing they
Probably
should
would.
ever do, let's just end this right now, in my opinion, the only thing they should ever do together, if they're going to do any Rush, is do it acoustically without the drummer, because you can't, there's nobody on this
Yeah.
earth that you could put in his spot and go do Rush songs. You
Yeah.
you want to take some Snakes and Arrows songs, you want to take the Garden, you want to take something and do acoustically without a drummer. It could be done.
Yeah, you're absolutely
agree.
right. I mean,
That's well said.
yeah,
It could be done. I'm not saying it should be done, but it could be done.
they're great drummers, proficient drummers, but
Yep.
it's not about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Spirit
there's
of Radio,
right.
all
Yeah.
reggae.
That's
It's
exactly.
also about
it. There's-
respect too for him,
Yes.
like for Neil. They would. I don't.
Mhm.
They could never do that.
There's
They've said
there's a
that.
lot of there's a lot of drummers out there that could play the parts, but is it right?
Right.
It's not. I don't think it is.
And what did Getty say? He said, "I don't want to play in Rush without those
Neil.
other guys."
Exactly.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't play a Rush song.
Yeah,
Right.
To
Exactly.
Ryder's point.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it wouldn't be Remy. It could be Lee Lifeson, and that they could still play a Rush song. You're not playing as Rush. I'm just being technical here, But
Yeah.
to
There we
Ryder's
go.
point, but
Just
An
nobody
excellent-
stands
yeah.
in for Neil.
no,
Exactly.
100% no.
Yeah.
An excellent, thought-provoking question to end this whole thing. There we go, guys.
job, Ryder.
Thank
That was
you.
a good one.
Great job.
Yeah, all these were thought up in a Burger King parking lot. So
That's
Why,
awesome.
what
That's
happens
it.
if you thought of them at Five Below? Would they be any
Credits.
different?
Stay
Maybe a little
tuned.
bit more cost effective. Yeah, there we go. Wait for part whatever. There you go, guys. What'd you think? If you disagree with any of these hot takes, we'd love to see what you say in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you know when all of our other shows like Rush Deep Dive and whatever else we got cooking up for you come out. Thanks. Have a good one.